Welcome in, everyone. My name is Jen, and I work with the Student Recruitment Office at the St. John's campus. And I'll be the moderator for this session. I want to thank you all for joining us for the Faculty of Education session here. And of course, if you've entered the wrong room, you can go back out and enter the correct room. I can share the link for that in the chat. To scroll down to the bottom, make sure that you're on the right date, which would be the 9th today, and click into the session that you meant to join. Before we get going, though, I just want to point out a few things about this room. As a participant, your mics will be muted and your video will be turned off. And I want to point you all to the chat feature and the Q&A feature at the bottom of WebEx there. You'll be able to send us your questions that way. So if you have any questions about education as we're going, make sure you put that in there, and we'll try to get to them at the end. If we don't have enough time to get to every single question that comes up in the chat, I'm sure Roxanne would be able to include an email for you to reach out to the folks over at education, and then we can, of course, include an email for the folks for us folks over in admissions and recruitment as well. And I do just want to start off the session by letting both Danica and Roxanne introduce themselves. So Roxanne, would you like to go first with your introduction?
Certainly. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Roxanne McHugh, and I am the Undergraduate Admissions Officer for the Faculty of Education. So this evening I will identify the programs we offer, and I will go through the admission requirements for each program. And at the end, we will have time for questions, I guess. And we have a current student in our program with us, and I'd like to welcome her, and it's Danica. So hand it over to you, Danica, to introduce yourself.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name's Danica. Danica's super close. I get it all the time. My name's Danica. I'm currently in my Bachelor of Education, Intermediate Secondary, conjoined with a Diploma in Technology Education, which is a mouthful to say. But prior to this degree, I completed a Bachelor's of Arts in French with a minor in History and another minor in German. So currently my teachers in education are Technology and French.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the introduction, and I'll let you folks take it from here. I'll pop back in nearing the end as it becomes the Q&A period. So I'll let you handle it from here, and you'll see me shortly.
Thank you, Jen.
Cheers.
My apologies to those who are with us, having some technical difficulties on my end with the presentation, but I will certainly provide you with a pretty detailed overview of the programs we offer in K-12 teaching and the requirements for admission for each of those programs. So Faculty of Education offers 5 teaching programs. The Bachelor of Primary Elementary as a first degree, the Bachelor of Primary Elementary as a second degree, Bachelor of Intermediate Secondary, and as Danica would say, the Bachelor of Intermediate Secondary conjoint with the Diploma in Technology Education. Such a big mouthful. And we also offer a music education as a second degree program. The primary elementary, first degree and second degree, we offer admission to 40 candidates in each program each year. The deadline to apply is January 15th. The admission requirements for the first degree are a cumulative average of at least 65%. Or 65% on your last 10 attempted courses. You must also have successfully completed 60 credit hours which is 20 university level courses. And they must include 4 courses in English, 2 courses in mathematics, 2 courses in psychology, 2 courses from 2 separate science areas. And the science areas are biochemistry, biology, chemistry, earth science, environmental science, ocean science, or physics. You must ensure that one of the 2 sciences has a lab component. Students are also required to have 2 courses in the area of humanities. The list of areas that you can choose from is anthropology, archaeology, economics, folklore, gender studies, geography, history, indigenous studies, linguistics, philosophy, political science, religious studies, and sociology. Students must also have 6 courses completed towards a focus area. Additional credit hours to make up the 60 can be chosen in anything, actually, as long as it's not education courses. This program is a 3-year program, once admitted, and it takes students, if they prepare right from the beginning in the correct manner, they can complete the admission requirements in 2 years and then apply to the faculty, and an additional 3 years to complete the program if admitted. We have a number of focus areas for this particular program. So under humanities and social science, we have anthropology, archaeology, classics, English, economics, folklore, gender studies, geography, history, indigenous studies, modern languages, linguistics, and philosophy, political science, religious studies, and sociology. So we've expanded our focus areas quite a bit. Also, students can focus in dance and movement, music, theater arts, and visual arts. Under science, you have a choice of biochemistry, biology, chemistry, computer science, earth science, environmental science. Human biosciences is acceptable under the biochemistry focus area stream. Mathematics, ocean science, physics, psychology, and statistics. Human kinetics and recreation is also a focus area, and physical education, as well as social work. So social work is a new addition. Psychology is a new addition. Political science, sociology, philosophy, a lot of the areas under humanities and social science have been newly added as potential focus areas for you to select from. The primary elementary as a second degree is a 4-semester program, a 2-year program, and it runs in a fall-winter format. Students must be awarded a degree from a recognized institution if it's not a MUN degree. You must have a cumulative average of 65% or at least 65% on your last 10 attempted courses. The requirements are very similar to the first degree, where you need the math and the psychology. The difference is the English requirement for the second degree program, you're only required to have 2 English courses for admission, but 2 math, 2 psychology, the 2 sciences are required. The 2 courses in humanities and social sciences is also required. but you must have a completed focus area for this particular program. So that's 24 credit hours in one specific area listed under our focus areas. I will also have the link. I'll have somebody add the link to our website where you can take a look at the focus areas and the specific requirements as well at the end of this presentation. So applications for our programs for 2024 intake is open now, and they close on January 15th, and students apply through the Memorial's application portal. The next program we offer is a Bachelor of Education, Intermediate Secondary. Students must be awarded a bachelor's degree from Memorial University or a university recognized by Memorial. You must have at least 36 credit hours, which is 12 courses, in a subject area listed under our academic disciplines, with a maximum of 2 1,000 level courses used to fulfill those 36 credit hours. And you must also have completed 24 credit hours in a subject listed under our disciplines again, but different from the 36, with a maximum of 2 1,000 level courses used to fulfill the 24 credit hours. You must have a minimum average of 65% in each of the teachable areas. So 65% in the 36 credit hours used to make up your first teachable area, and a 65% in the 24 credit hours for your second teachable area. The academic disciplines acceptable are biochemistry, human biosciences, biology, Canadian studies, chemistry, earth science, economics, English, environmental science, French, general science, geography, history, mathematics, physical education, physics, political science, theater, art, and visual art. Theater, art, and visual art are offered only every second year, and our next intake for those two particular areas will not be until 2025. There is also business studies and religious studies that can only be used to fulfill a second teaching area. Our next program is a Bachelor of Intermediate Secondary, conjoined with a Diploma in Technology Education. This program is a 4 consecutive semester program. So it's the only program that we offer that commences in spring. It commences in May each year, and it runs over 4 consecutive semesters. So from May to August, you will complete the technology component, or most of the technology component of the program. And in September, you will join with the regular intermediate secondary group, the fall group, and complete coursework along with that cohorted group. For the technology program, you must be awarded a bachelor's degree, and you must have completed 36 credit hours in a subject area listed under our disciplines, with a maximum of 2 1,000 level courses used to fulfill those 36 credit hours. Business studies, Newfoundland studies, religious studies cannot be used to satisfy the requirement of credit hours in a discipline for this particular program. You must also have achieved an overall average of at least 65% in your teachable area courses. And the academic disciplines for this particular program are biochemistry, biology, Canadian Studies, Chemistry, Earth Science, Economics, English, Environmental Science, French, General Science, Geography, History, Mathematics, Physical Education, Physics, Political Science. Theater arts and visual arts is acceptable for this program, but again, only offered every second year. And our next intake is 2025. Next, we offer a Bachelor of Music Education as a second degree. This program allows individuals to teach from K to 12. It specializes in primary pedagogy as well as intermediate secondary pedagogy. Students must have the awarding of a music degree. You must have a cumulative average of at least 65%. And you must have courses completed in certain techniques and instrumental and conducting techniques. You may be able to, if you have personal experiences with those techniques, there may be a way in which you can opt out of having to complete the academic coursework in those techniques areas. And should you fall into that category, please feel free to reach out to us so we can guide you through that process. So information, further information or detailed information for you specifically that may not have been answered through the outline of admission requirements here this evening, please feel free to reach out to us at edadmiss@mon.ca. Or you can contact me directly. It's rmchugh@mun.ca. Our telephone contact information is 864-3403 or 864-3406. And our website is www.mon.ca/EDUC. So please reach out if you have any questions in future that may not be answered here tonight, and we'd be happy to respond. So I guess, Jen, we can open up with some questions, maybe?
Great, sounds good to me. We have somebody wondering, as a potential primary education undergrad, should I apply to general first? So then once I finish the courses necessary to apply, I can apply for the Faculty of Education. Any help would be appreciated.
Yes, most definitely. When you apply for admission to MON, we don't have a free education option. So your options would be to apply, in general, or to apply as a BA or a BSc if that's your area of interest.
Grant. All right. So, Danica, I am curious, what is your day in a life as a student in the Faculty of Education look like? Just like an idea of like general class schedule, or maybe is it a little bit different when you go out on your internships? Like, or have you even had that experience yet? I think just having a little bit of an idea of what that would look like to the students in the crowd might be a little bit helpful.
So it very much depends on what degree stream you're in. For technology, I'm on campus most days for a long, long time. But I'm lucky this semester. My Mondays and Wednesdays are actually very relaxed. I have class in the nighttime from 6:30 to 9:30. That's a big thing to consider when going into education, that it is possible to have night classes. So if you have commitments outside, Really just make sure that you're watching your course schedule because you don't want to miss class. In terms of my courses that are mixed with the regular intermediate secondary cohort, they're mostly in the day. Tuesdays and Thursdays is a very big day in education. I find like everyone's on campus. Myself, I'm in school from 8:30 in the morning till 6:15 in the evening this semester. So it's a very long day. For those of you who are interested in taking technology, so the diploma, when you get accepted into education, our schedule ran from 9 to 2 in the spring. So you got up in the morning, you did your school, and then you pretty much had your evenings free. And when I say free, I mean you probably had like a little bit of homework, but a lot of my coursework was actually completed in the shop because I couldn't bring the drill home to work on my stool. So it was a really good schedule this summer. In terms of our internships, you follow your school schedule. We don't follow MUN's academic calendar. So I'm going on my long internship now in January. So I won't get reading week, but I'll follow whatever the school does. So if there's a PD day, I'll participate in that. If there's a holiday that I have to close for, I don't go to school. And for the long or the short internship, if you're a French student, you may get the option to go to Quebec. That's what I got to do. So I actually went to a private school up there and did my internship there. It was a great experience. It really showed me what's different outside of Newfoundland because I grew up in Newfoundland. I did school here, graduated from the Newfoundland school system, and just seeing how things were different in Quebec as a French teacher was incredible.
Awesome. I think that's a great answer. And just for the folks in the crowd, I'm curious if you could kind of describe what the Certificate of Technology is.
Absolutely. I love the program. You don't need to have any science background. A lot of people are like, oh, well, I feel like I should need to know how to work with my hands before going into the program. I had a little bit of experience myself. My dad did a trade, so I got to work with him in the garage. But I did a French degree. And now I can write in Python and different computer languages. I can build stuff and change out drill bits. So what's included in the program at MUN? We've done courses on design and fabrication. So it was like woodworking and metalworking. We also did a course that was similar to communications technology. So we looked at different computer software programs and also did a final live stream at the end of the course. We learned about physical computing, which falls more into the realm of computer engineering and computer science. We actually worked hands-on with a Raspberry Pi board, if anyone's familiar with those, and we had to make a photo booth in that course. So that was cool. And then we also did a course that was a combination of residential construction and skilled trades. So I learned how to shingle. I learned how to do ceramic tiles, how to build a roof truss. What else? A window installation. And currently in the fall semester, you either take robotics or a small engine course. Right now, we're taking robotics. And I'm currently in the process of building my own ROV that is going to go on a mission to retrieve things from the bottom of a pool once I have it built at the end of this month. And I think the final course we'll take is a CNC course. That's the 7-ish courses that make up the program, but I don't know much about that one yet because it's not until spring of 2024.
I mean, that all sounds like super neat. And I'm interested to see from your point of view, like, how do you feel that can be beneficial within the world of education? Like, it's apparent to me how that could be, but I want to make sure that everyone in the crowd has an idea of how that could be usable.
It's definitely beneficial. Technology is a growing sector. The more students that can get involved at the high school, the middle school level in technology, the more that may have a chance of pursuing something involving technology once they get into university. As for you as a teacher, completing the technology diploma will give you your level 6 accreditation, which bumps you up in the pay scale. And also when you go to apply for jobs, it looks really good having your diploma.
Got it. That makes sense to me for sure. All right. How do you decide as a student applicant between primary elementary as a first or second program? Is that something that you could touch on, Roxanne? Oh, you're muted.
Jen, I didn't hear all of your question.
If a student was trying to decide between primary elementary as a first or second program, what would you recommend them think about?
Well, I mean, it depends on where they are in their MUN life, really. Some students do not decide until they've been at MUN for maybe 3 or sometimes 4 semesters that education may be of interest to them. If that's the case, then we would really need to look at what they've completed and if they've been following, you know, the criteria for an arts degree or a science degree, we would encourage them to, continue on and complete that and then apply to the second degree. But if you're new to MON, if you're in your first or second semester and you know that primary elementary is where you want to go, I would encourage students, certainly to apply to the first degree program and follow that path. So it really depends on where the student is in their career academically.
Roxanne, correct me if I'm wrong, but for French, you only have the option as a primary elementary to do it as the second degree, correct?
FSL is second degree. But you can do French as a focus area under modern languages for the first degree. But the
Gotcha.
difference is the FSL program identifies you as a French teacher. A French focus area for the first degree does not.
Gotcha.
All right. And this kind of riffs off of that first question there for you, Roxanne, is if a student graduates with primary elementary as a first degree, what would be the benefit of that versus the coming out with 2 degrees with a primary elementary as a second degree, if that makes sense? Like, are there any benefits post graduation when looking for a career to having the 2 degrees versus the 1 degree when you finish with primary
No,
elementary?
the salary scale as it is right now is pretty much the same for both. So you would be starting off, on the same salary scale, really. So in terms of, I guess, the professional piece, there's no one would be no more advantageous than the other. Some students find that going through a degree first and then following the second degree path of primary elementary helps prepare them more for the profession. It gives them a broader academic background, and hence they can take that into the classroom. So that's really the only differences that I can think of.
Okay, you just basically have more time to hone your skills as an academic person more
For
so.
sure.
Fair enough, that makes sense. All right. For our students in the crowd, I suppose, how does one manage a work-life balance when everything is going so quickly through education as your degree? Like, how do you manage your fun activities, but also your academic life at the same time?
I can't stress how important it is to find the balance because that is your saving grace. I find that keeping a Google Calendar, you can see behind me and my bulletin board, my calendar, everything is organized. It's put somewhere that I can see it. Anytime that I have some free time, that I have allotted to do nothing, maybe I'm catching up on some work or I'm getting ahead in some courses. Very much just finding your groove and sticking to it. Don't let yourself cancel all your hobbies because you have school. It's going to make it 10 times harder to get the school done. Go to your hobby, work on school when you get home. It's very much just The balance. Outside of school, I'm involved with figure skating in Newfoundland and Labrador. I have a part-time job. I go to the gym. I hang out with my friends, and that makes school a lot easier because it gives me those things to look forward to. It's like, oh, I get a nice little break, and I can go and grab a coffee with a friend, or I get to go to work and see my work friends. It's very much finding what works for you.
And you're touching on that like time management aspect, especially even I imagine going into education having your own great time management skills is probably would rub off on the students you're hypothetically teaching if you go into a classroom teaching career.
Absolutely. Your students, if it's stressed that your students will pick up your habits. So the
Fair
more
enough.
organized we can be, hopefully the more organized they will be.
Ideal. All right. For Roxanne over here, can a student have more than 2 teachable areas if they're interested in doing intermediate secondary as a program?
You can have more than 2 teachable areas in terms of academic coursework, but you can only have 2 educational methods courses that incorporate the teachables in which you apply under. So when you seek employment, when you go out into the school system, one of the things that they look for is outside of the fact that you're awarded an education degree is the educational methods courses that you've completed. So there's only room in the program for a student to complete 2, and that's based on what you apply under. So for Danica, for example, she's doing the technology program. So her methodology courses would be in French and technology education. For somebody that is applying to the regular stream of the intermediate secondary, and they come in with 2 teachable areas, they would apply to both. Those methods courses would comply with their first and second teachable. We have had students in the past that wanted to complete 8 courses in a 3rd subject area just to make them more employable. To be honest, I don't really know if it does make them more employable because they are missing that piece, that methodology piece, unless they come back after they complete their degree, because those courses are only offered in the fall semester. So if they come back after they complete their degree and request special permission for a methodology course in that particular area.
Or completing a bachelor degree first before going into intermediate secondary. Are there, I'm say, more common ones that you see, or like ones that you recommend folks do that tend to result in, I guess, a better, though, like I guess, better fulfilling those teachable areas?
Right. So we actually just met with the school district to kind of get a little bit of feedback because, the geographics of what's required changes from region to region within the province. But right now there is a demand for phys ed teachers, French, certain sciences such as chemistry and physics, and mathematics. So those are the areas where there's a fair high demand. And in particular regions, it's, higher than others.
Got it. Makes sense.
And we graduate less people in those areas, because we don't see as many people applying. Most of our applicants have an English social studies or social studies English background. So there's more competition in those particular areas.
That does track. All right. Danica, is there something that you were particularly nervous about when you started out in university, or even just into education specifically? Like maybe was there something different that you were nervous about starting out at like the university level, but then also something that maybe like came back up when coming into education that might have been different or the same?
I feel like going into my first year, so that would have been 2019 for me. It was definitely the unknown. I'm from a small town. Moving from my small town into a big city definitely caused a bit of anxiety, just general stress. Like, am I going to make friends? Because a lot of my hometown friends either went away for university or decided to do something else. So it was definitely the added, oh, I don't have my support system that I've had for the last 18 years with me. Going into education, it was more so the change of pace from my BA to the B.Ed degree, because I mean, in my Bachelor's of Arts degree, I was on campus maybe 3 hours a day at most. Now there's days where I'm on campus for 10. So it was getting into a routine, changing how I lived my life, kind of when I eat breakfast, what time I have supper, all that had to change because my school schedule changed. And it's just making it accommodating to how it best fit me was the biggest change that I had to go through.
Grand. That makes sense. Um, I guess this question might lean a little bit more towards Roxanne, but if Danica, you have anything to add based on your own experience with this, it is a scholarship related question. So, are there scholarships for students within education or leading up into education, or have there sightlines on that capacity? Are there any ones, Danica, that you have that you want to shout out that you've had great experience with that you might have been awarded or something in the past?
For me, I'm still considered within the HSS realm for scholarships at the moment because I haven't completed more than a couple semesters in education. I believe after this semester, I think I concluded with education. Going into education though, I did not know if there was any scholarships for me. It was very quick when I graduated. I turned around and in 2 weeks I was back to school, back and doing my thing. So it was a quick turnaround that was more so get in school, get it started, and then go from there.
Fair enough. Roxanne, any scholarships that you have in and around education that students might want to know about?
So the scholarships are all listed, all under the scholarship office at MON. So we don't house our own scholarships within the faculty. They're all housed through the scholarships office at MON. Most of the scholarships, students have to be in at least their second semester, I think, to qualify for most of them that would be there, at least past their first semester.
Perfect. That's great information for folks to take a look at, and just to direct themselves to the scholarships page there to take a look around and see if there's something that they might want to keep an eye out for in the future. And I'm going to say coming up closer to time, not quite at the end by any means. I'm just going to shout out for the students in the chat here in the background. If you want to have any of your questions asked before the end of the session, throw them up in the Q&A or the chat feature. Try to keep them, I would say, general to education, like specific to education and a general to yourself, like not too specific about your particular case. Anything that might be particular to yourself as a student, I would recommend sending it to either us at admissions or edadmis. At mun.ca. I threw that up in the chat as well, just so that your particular situation can be evaluated. All right, so if I see any more come in, I will poke them up at you. All right, so far, Danica, what's your favorite aspect about being in education?
Definitely the support we receive as students. We have the Teaching and Learning Commons, which is our area. There's, I think, 3 smart boards in there. There's various seating arrangements, and it's a space for us to collaborate as students. It's ran by Morris, who is awesome. He's always there to lend a helping hand. As society president, of course, I'm always there going, Morris, could you help me put this off this time? So it's very nice to feel supported and welcomed, and there's always someone there if you need help.
Yeah, exactly. And on the note of needing help, just in generally, maybe both of you can kind of respond to this in your own different capacities. But if a student is looking for academic advice kind of leading into education or during education, is there a system for students who have any questions or that within the Faculty of Education, or even just leading up to it?
For me, I'm pretty sure I did email Roxanne coming into education. I emailed so many people, but also connect with teachers that you know. That's a really big thing.
Yeah, any student, we encourage students, as soon as you have an idea that
I figure we can
education
turn
may
to
be-
and
Yeah.
questions too.
I think it got a little bit glitchy there.
Yeah, okay. I said, as soon as students realize or, that education may be something that they're interested in, by all means, come over to the Faculty of Education. My door is open every Wednesday for students to just drop by. I've also done some touring with students around to show them our commons room, the different rooms that we have, and we have our own library. So, there's all kinds of, pieces of information that you can get by just coming over and visiting with us. And, we're open certainly to help students in any way and provide them with as much information for them to make a decision, a clear decision on what they want to do. And also help them with course planning should they decide to do it.
Great advice for sure.
I just
And,
want to add too that we take the students and the faculty too. We love to talk about our programs. I'm a great connection for you guys to have now. I can put my email in the chat if anyone ever wants to message me and ask more so student life questions or more questions about why I chose what I chose to do in school. But reach out to those who are in the faculty. We love to talk. So talk to us.
And Danica, you did chat earlier about how you had your that experience in Quebec as part of your program. And since you did get to have that like outside of Newfoundland perspective as part of your program, I'm interested to know if you could give a little bit of advice for any students that are actually traveling in from maybe other provinces across Canada or even just other countries around the world into Newfoundland.
Absolutely, yeah. The biggest thing would be to get involved. If you're new here, get to know your classmates. You're going to get really close to them really quickly. I'll speak from my experience in tech. I believe there's 18 of us in my cohort, and we talk every single day, even if we don't have school. I'm still connecting with them to ask questions about assignments, even just to hang out. So if you're new, make the effort to meet people.
Great advice. I think we're coming pretty much right up to the end now. So I'm just gonna kind of set us up to have a shout out to you two for joining us for this particular session about education. I want to give you one last moment to I would say finalize any thoughts, anything that you feel like might be outstanding, or any final words of wisdom or advice that you feel like you would like everyone to leave here with today. Roxanne, would you like to just start with a little bit of something for everyone else?
Sure. I wanted to also let students know about internship opportunities. So there's a long internship component to all of our programs. And the internships are available nationally and in province. We also offer an option for internship in the UK at the Harlow, England. And we have a coordinator, an internship coordinator who's super fantastic. Any student looking to go outside nationally or at a province, you would just meet with the individual, and Darren Pike is his name, and identify the school or district that you're looking to complete an internship with, and you know, you work together and make that happen. So it's a great experience and opportunity for individuals to kind of go outside of the province to seek that opportunity if they possibly can. Also, I just want to let students know, please feel free to reach out to us, whether it's a drop-in or a telephone call or an email. If you want to learn more about the faculty and our programs, and if you have a situation that's specific to you, we'd be happy to discuss that with you.
Awesome. Danica, anything from you?
As a student, it's just find the balance. Find the balance between school and life. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't get behind in school, but make time to make sure that you feel okay and that you feel that you can take on your degree in the best way possible.
Great, perfect. Yeah, so I'm just going to conclude this for today. So thank you both for coming out, sharing that information with us. For the folks in the crowd, if you're looking to stay for the next session in this room, it will be Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences up next. In the other rooms, we will also be hosting the Faculty of Nursing, as well as the School of Social Work as well. Those would be respectively in room 2 for nursing and room 3 for social work. So if you need to jump across rooms, you can do so. Tonight is the final night of the open house. So if any sessions that you weren't able to attend either tonight or previously, please check back at the landing page. Those will be made available in a few short weeks with the recordings there all linked for you. So I recommend to check those out, or even rewatch the sessions that you attended, just so that you're able to get a better feel for what we were chatting about in the event that you missed anything. All right, folks. So I'll close out for now, and we'll have a brief break in this room until we start up with HSS.